guys, it's been a while, hasn't it, since we've had one of these moments, but welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Fatima. Welcome. Now, you may have noticed that I've been a little MIA, period, on YouTube, on Instagram, just in general, and that's because, you know, life happens, changes happen, things happen, and, you know, sometimes you just need to take a step back. I was taking a step back for the sake of my mental health, for the sake of my self-care, for the sake of just knowing that I needed to take care of myself. And that's what I've been doing. To chat about, particularly in this video, is something you may not realize about starting a self-love journey. In January, I shared with you guys that I was starting my soul beauty journey, which essentially is a self-love journey, and I started documenting it through vlogs, and I'll link that playlist like up in the little cards so you guys can check it out if you're new and you haven't seen it. But I basically just started documenting my progress of really becoming the person that I felt God was calling me to be. And something really interesting happened around that time that I'm realizing now in retrospect is I was trying to become something rather than allowing my true self to just emerge. And that's what I have really been doing over the last few months that you have not really been seeing me that much. Is I've been unlearning and unpacking and reconstructing all of these beliefs I've had about myself and who I'm supposed to be in this world. There seems to be this like unspoken thing about just everyone that we see online that like they have it figured out and I don't. Like that's just always the thing. And even people have told me sometimes that like people that I've met or people that watch me, it's like, you know, you seem like you have it figured out. And I want to be the first to tell you that number one, I don't. I don't have it figured out. I'm literally just figuring it out and sharing as I'm going along. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't do, is share as they're going along. So that gives the concept, the idea that everybody has it figured out, because a lot of people aren't talking about this part of the journey. Okay, these earrings gotta go, sis, because they won't stay in. So yeah, I want to start the conversation about the journey, the self-love journey, the ugly stuff that comes up when you decide to go on a self-love journey. The truth is, it's not all about self-care. That is a huge part of it, but that's not the only part of it. And I think that's something that I didn't realize also initially in the beginning of my self-love journey. Like I felt like, okay, well, if I'm praying and I'm doing my devotionals and I'm spending time with God and I'm meditating and I'm reading, then you know, my self-love is in check. And then I had like a reality check where I'm like, but what about your physical appearance? And I know that may seem weird to you guys because you see me like this most of the time, but I don't look like this 90% of the time. 90% of the time, I look like no one loves me because my hair is not done. I don't have makeup on. And not to say like you have to look like that all the time, but I mean, it would be nice. You probably would feel better if you put more, not even did makeup and did your hair and whatever, because that is all personalized to what you find beautiful and how you look the most beautiful and feel the most beautiful. But the point that I'm trying to make is putting effort into how you look is a part of self-care too. And I find a lot of times that we either have one and we don't have the other. Like it's like a imbalance a lot of the times. And I was definitely imbalanced. Like on the inside, I felt like I was doing all this stuff, but that stuff that I was working on the inside wasn't reflected on the outside. When I went into certain spaces and I was, or even just walking down the street or just interacting with people, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like my truest self. I didn't feel like me. But yet I'm doing all this stuff in my spare time, all this self-care, and I'm not feeling good. It's like, what's the point of doing all the self-care if you're not going to reach a point of overflow where you can then express that and show that love to other people and give that love freely to other people? And that's another thing that kind of emerged while I've been on this self-love journey. So I guess this video was turning into the things that I've learned on my self-love journey, or the things that I'm learning or unlearning. Plot twist, so many layers. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of deconstructing that has to happen. And when I started this journey, I was focused on becoming the person. So I was doing the things that I thought would allow me to become a certain person. And I don't think that is the goal of a self-love journey, at least not for me. For me, it's about breaking down those barriers and those labels and those titles that you and the world and your family has given you, and getting back in tune with who you actually are on the inside, getting back in tune with what actually resonates with you on a soul level, and being that every day, showing up as that every single day, regardless if it makes other people uncomfortable, regardless if that means maybe you have to change some things in your life because they no longer align with who you actually are. But true self-love is deconstructing all of those things and seeing what's left there standing, and accepting that fully, accepting that wholeheartedly, and accepting that unconditionally. Like, you don't need anything in return to fully love and accept yourself. You're not, you know, trying to become this person because you want God to bless you, or you feel like you have to reach this certain level of success or this certain idea, or God isn't going to bless you, or the universe isn't going to bless you, or you're not going to have a rich, fulfilling life. No, I'm talking about unconditional love. Love that is like, I'm just accepting of you for who you are and what you are as you are, because I deserve that. And you deserve that. We all deserve that. We all deserve that deep, deep self-love. And today I'm just so overjoyed. And I feel like this is a prime example of that overflow that I was just speaking of, because for months I've been struggling to sit in front of this camera and talk to you guys, because I felt like I had nothing to give, because I felt so broken and confused and stuck on the inside that I couldn't give you anything. And today is one of the first days in a really long time that I feel like myself. And I really wish that I would have brought my camera with me to the city, because I just had a good feeling about today. And I felt this urge to kind of like vlog, but I was like, no, I don't want to be bothered with my camera. And I really wish I would have, so you guys could have like experienced what I'm expressing right now. But I just found myself in these moments where I'm just connecting with strangers, and I'm just my charming, charismatic self, and just being me, being the true essence of me that I have not been for so long. Like, it's been months, it might have even been years, and I'm just like, where were you? And that's not to say that, like, you know, this part of myself has never been present, because it has been. Like, when I was making videos in the past, there was remnants, you know, of the genuine Fatima being there. When I was going to events and stuff like that, I feel like that's when I was talking to Abina about this. Shout out to Abina. And if you haven't signed up for her e-course, get her e-course, okay? I'm gonna link it below because it's amazing. It's transformational. I'm currently taking it, and get it. But I was talking to Abina about how, you know, I was like, it's so weird, because I feel like sometimes I'm completely being myself, and then other times I feel so distant from myself. And she's like, well, you know, in those times, and I gave examples like when I'm at speaking events, and when I'm like at these different networking events, and when I'm like almost playing a role, like when I'm being like Fatima, like the empowerment speaker, or the coach, or the blogger, or the Christian. It's like, that's when it's like a switch comes on, and I go into this mode where it's like I'm not in my head. And she basically helped me to realize that that's because those are times when God is using me. It's like, that has nothing to do with me. Like, that's why it's so easy to flip on and off, because God is using me in those moments. When I have to speak to people, it's like a switch, and he's flowing through me as a vessel so other people can see his light. But today was so beautiful because I wasn't playing a role. I didn't have to flip on a switch. I was just existing in the world as my true self. And it felt so good. It felt so freeing. It felt so amazing. And I hope this is making sense. I don't know if it is, but if you're on a self-love journey, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you are, so you probably resonate with some of what I'm saying. But I think I'm going to continue to have these conversations. So if you have any questions about self-love, about soul beauty, leave them down in the comment section so we can get this going. Because I have so many ideas about self-love, so many thoughts that I want to share to you guys, and I'll try to make my next video a little more organized because I feel like I'm all over the place right now because I'm just so like pumped up. But yeah, let me know what your specific questions are, your specific thoughts, and in no way, shape, or form am I gonna come here and be like teaching you, because I'm still doing the work as well, but it's gonna just be me talking about those different topics that you guys are interested in, if that makes sense. So just sharing my perspective. I'm really trying to get back to that point where my channel was just me just sharing information about things that I'm passionate about versus like I'm teaching you something. I don't like that. And that was a huge part of like the whole role thing I was talking about. Like it felt like I was playing a role, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I hope you guys understand and appreciate that and can accept, you know, my channel as this, as just I'm here, we're here together, we're chatting, we're talking about certain topics, versus like you're coming here to get this like boost of motivation. Like I can't promise you that you're always gonna get that. Like people have told me that in the past where they're like, oh, like I'll save your videos and like watch them later when I need motivation. And it's like, that's good, that's awesome to hear, but it's also like that's not all of who I am. Like sometimes I'm not gonna be able to motivate you. Sometimes I can't even motivate myself. Let's be real here. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm flourishing. Skin is flourishing. Hair is flourishing. I mean, like this. Never really. I'm gonna go. See you guys on the flip side. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're doing. Like really, how are you doing? Like really, how are you doing? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I'm excited. I'll see you guys later. Bye.